Good morning, dear students. Welcome to PURNACHANDRA Higher Secondary School. Okay. So in the previous session, we are discussing about the resistance, okay, and the combination of resistance, series and parallel combinations. But in this session, we are discussing a very important chapter or important part, that is cell. About the cell. First of all, we know about cell. What is a cell? Okay. Then about the internal resistance of the cell and the combination of the cell. This is the important part. How we can connect the cell in a electrical circuit. Very simple. Okay. And internal resistance of the cell. What do you mean by internal resistance of the cell? Let us discuss about these things. Clear? So before that, first of all, discuss something about a cell. Okay. As all of you know, if we are in our everyday life, if you are suppose want to function electronics gadget, for example, anything which require a source, a temporary source, for example our watch, okay, for example mobile phones, okay, so these are the things operated by battery. Okay. These are the electronics gadgets operated by battery. Very simple. Okay, so now actually what is a battery? Let us discuss first. So battery is combination of cells. Battery is nothing but a combination of cells. A cell is, or a single cell is consists of two electrodes. Very simple. A single cell consists of two electrodes. This is one electrode. This is another electrode. Okay, a single cell. We are discussing about a single cell. Okay, so a cell substituting or consisting two terminal. One is cathode, another one is anode. Very simple. The anode terminal is your positive terminal. The cathode terminal is your negative terminal. So a single cell consists of two electrodes. One is positive, that is anode terminal. Another one is negative, that is a cathode terminal. Okay, and they are present within some electrolytes. Very simple. They were deep or present within some electrolyte. Okay, so electrolyte means they are partially conducting. Actually, they are insulating. Actually, they are some dielectric medium. These are the dielectric medium, insulating medium. But by doing some physical things, such as by putting some your salt or by putting some acid, we can make it conductive. Very simple. Okay, so these are the electrolytes, and these are the two electrodes. So a single cell consists of two electrodes. A pair of electrodes, one is positive, another one is negative. The positive one is your anode terminal, the negative one is your cathode terminal. Clear? Okay. And by, very importantly, so now what we will do? Now we will this is actually a cell. Okay, and this is a single cell. It's very important. This is a single cell, and by joining or combining these cells, we are getting some battery or a battery. Clear? So battery is nothing but a combination of cells. Very simple. Okay. So a cell specifically consists of, or it contains two electrodes. One is a positive electrode, another one is a negative electrodes. So now, so every cell, what actually supplies? Now it supplies some power, some source. It is a source. It is a source of what? It is a source of EMF. It is a source of EMF. Very simple. EMF is nothing but your electromotive force. It is nothing but your electromotive force. So the cells, remember, the cells are nothing but the source of EMF, electromotive force. So do not confuse with this wording electromotive force, as though it is written as force, but actually it is not a force. Clear? Okay. So we are discussing about EMF, don't worry. But for now time being, just I want to say that a cell is a source of EMF. It will provide some EMF, or it will act like a source of EMF when it is connecting to a electrical circuit. Very simple. Clear? Okay. So now let us discuss about what is EMF? What is electromotive force? Actually, electromotive force is not a force. It is a maximum, or the electromotive force. We will get some maximum potential Okay, in an electrical circuit, remember, electromotive force is nothing but the maximum potential difference. Okay, we are getting in an electrical circuit when the electrical circuit is a open circuit. Remember that one. It will not a closed circuit. It will become open circuit. That is a very important one because there is no current drawn from the cell. In between the two terminals, what we will measure? Okay, so that is nothing but your EMF, electromotive force. So electromotive, again I will repeat, electromotive force is nothing but your maximum potential difference, okay, across the two terminals of a cell when the cell is connected to a battery. Your cell is connected to an electrical circuit, but the electrical circuit must be an open circuit. Open circuit means it will not draw any current from this cell. So look at these two figures very carefully. Okay, in the first figure, look at very carefully. In the first figure, there is a cell having a EMF E. Okay, and this cell is having a resistance R. Why? Let us discuss about this R. This small r is called internal resistance. Why? Because we know that, look at here, when there is a flow of current, from positive terminal to negative terminal in a cell, because we know that in a when a cell is connected to a electrical circuit, the current flowing from the positive terminal to negative terminal of a cell. But to continue this process, remember, to continue this process, there must be, or to continuation of this flow of current, there must be flow of current inside the electrolyte from negative terminal to positive terminal also. This is a very important one. Clear? Okay. So now, so again I will repeat. When the cell is connected to an electrical circuit, then current from anode terminal or positive terminal moving towards the cathode terminal. Okay, so to continue this, or for continuation of this, there should be, or there must be, a flow of current inside the electrolyte from which terminal? Negative terminal to positive terminal. Clear? So during this flow, every electrolyte is having some opposition. It will oppose. Remember, it will oppose this flow of current inside this electrolyte. That opposition is nothing but your internal resistance of the cell. Remember that point. That opposition of this electrolyte, whatever present inside the cell, to flow the current from negative terminal to positive terminal, that opposition is called the internal resistance of the cell. Okay, so now moving towards the figure. So this is your cell. Look at it. So this is a cell having a EMF E and having a internal resistance R. Internal resistance generally denoted as small r. Clear? Now this cell, remember, this cell is connected to a key or a switch and a external resistance. Clear all of you? Okay. So now compare these two figures. These two figures almost same, but the first one, in the first one the key is open. And the second one, the key is closed. Look at very carefully. In the first figure, the figure number 1, the key is open. In the figure number 2, the key is closed. Okay, that means in this case, when key is open, there will be no current drawn from this cell. Remember, in this case, whatever the potential difference we will measure across these two terminals of this cell, that is nothing but your EMF, electromotive force. In which case? In first case. But come to the second case. In the second case, the switch is, or the key is closed. Okay, so if the key is closed or switch is closed, then there is a, look at it, there is a flow of current inside it. Okay, and due to this flow of current inside it, now you can take any two any in between these flow of current. If you will measure the potential difference or value here, then that is nothing but your potential difference. Clear? So when the circuit is open, remember, when the circuit is open, then whatever the potential you will measure across this cell, again I will repeat, across this cell, that is called EMF. But potential difference we will measure in a circuit when the circuit becomes closed and there is a flow of current inside the circuit. Clear all of you? Okay. So now, and one very important point, the potential difference can be measured at any point in this circuit, whereas the EMF is measured only at the cell, two terminals of the cell. Remember that is. Okay. Then come to the second point, the EMF. Remember, the EMF, electromotive force, okay, depend upon the internal resistance of the cell. It will not depend upon the external resistance, but whereas the potential difference when it will measure, okay, it must depend upon the external resistance. Remember that is. Understood? Because when the resistance becomes, because in this due to this resistance the current vary. If the resistance increases, the current decreases. If resistance means external resistance, and if the resistance decreases, then the current increases. Understood all of you? So this is the main difference between EMF and potential difference. Clear all of you? Okay. So now this is the main point, and internal resistance, I think all of you clear. So internal resistance, again I will repeat, internal resistance is nothing but the opposition provided by the electrolyte during the flow of current from negative terminal to positive terminal inside the electrolyte or inside the cell. Okay, so that's why that opposition is nothing but your internal resistance of the cell. It is a property of a cell. It is not a property of a circuit. Remember, internal resistance is a property of a cell. Understood all of you? Okay, so this is the main thing we are discussing about. This is the main difference between the EMF and potential difference. The main very important point, again I will mention here, the EMF is measured when the circuit is open, potential difference is measured when the circuit is closed. EMF is measured across the cell when the circuit is open, but potential difference can be measured at any point of the circuit when the circuit is closed. Very simple. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is the main difference between EMF and potential difference. Now let us find out from this figure what is the, or how we will find out the circuit equation. Remember it. So from this figure, look at it. From this figure we can write this equation. Can I write it? Now E, the EMF of the cell, is equal to, look at this very carefully. So what is the EMF across the cell? Now the V, that means the potential across, again the potential across the external resistance plus the potential across this. Okay, so what is the potential across this? This means this cell, that is I into the internal resistance. Very simple. Okay, so that implies E is equal to, so in place of V, in place of V, what I can write? The I into R across this plus I into small r. Clear? So that implies E is equal to I whole into R plus R. Okay, so that implies I is equal to E divided by R plus R. Okay, so this equation, this equation number 1 is called your circuit equation. Remember that equation is very important. This equation is called your circuit equation. Remember this is. Okay, this is how you can calculate circuit equation, and also this is the formula to find out the current across a circuit. Electrical circuit which is connected to a cell having a EMF E and internal resistance R and connected to a external resistance capital R. Understood all of you? Okay, so this is your circuit equation. Okay, the next we will discuss about what is the formula to calculate. Next we will let us discuss about how we will calculate the internal resistance of the cell. Okay, so that we will move into the same formula. Let us move into the same formula. Okay, so that E, again I will write that E is nothing but the V, look at very carefully. So V plus IR, V plus IR. So that implies I into small r is equal to E minus B. Okay, so now this implies, let us divide I into capital R in both sides. So what we will get? The IR divided by I into capital R, that is equal to E divided by IR minus this is V, this is IR divided by IR. Clear? So that implies, now this is cancelled out. Okay, so now this is also cancelled out. So now what is left? Look at very carefully. Okay, so this is, you can write down. So this is, or if, because we want to find out the value of small r. The value of small r. Remember this is, we want to find out the value of small r. Okay, so now this is R divided by R is equal to E divided by IR minus 1. Clear? So that implies now small r is equal to what is? Now E divided by IR minus 1 into R. Okay, so that implies, but very careful. So R is equal to, so if I multiply it, then these are cancel out. So what is left? Now E by I minus R. Okay, so in this way you can also, so this is in, remember this equation, this, suppose this is equation number 2. So now this equation is the formula to find out the resistance of the cell. Which resistance? Internal resistance. In terms of what? Now in terms of current, in terms of EMF, in terms of external resistance. You can also, remember one point I will mention here, you can also find out the relation in terms of V, in terms of E and in terms of R in the same way. Clear all of you? So remember this formula, which is very, very important. Clear? Okay. So in this way we can, or in this way we can easily find out the relation of R by which we can calculate the internal resistance of the cell. Clear? So now with this, now in what factor, or what are the factor on which the internal resistance depend upon? Let us discuss on what factor on which the internal resistance depend upon. This is very important. So internal resistance of the cell, which is a property of the cell, depend upon, first point, depend upon the nature of the electrolyte. What type of electrolyte we are using within the cell. First point. Okay, because why? Because if the electrolyte is conductive, more conductive, then the internal resistance of the cell obviously decreases or less. Because internal resistance cell is decreasing means the electrolyte becomes conductive, more conductive. Number one. Number two, the internal resistance also depends on the gap between the electrodes. For example, look at it. Suppose this is one electrode, this is one electrode, this is the positive electrode, this is the negative electrode, and these are the electrolytes. Okay, so now within these two electrolytes there is a space, so there is this gap. Look at this, look at very carefully, this is the space in between this. Okay, So if the space is larger, remember, if the space is larger, then the resistance, internal resistance of the cell also higher. Clear? But if this gap is reducing, it will be decreasing. Okay, then the internal resistance of the cell decreasing. Clear? So these are the some of the factors on which the internal resistance of the cell depends on. Clear, all of you? I think all of you clear about these important points. What are the, again I will repeat, what are the important points? Now the important points are internal resistance of the cell. What is the difference between EMF and potential difference? Okay, these are the main point, main thing where we have to mention here. Okay, what is the circuit equation we are discussing? Okay, so now these are the things we have already discussed. Now move into our second part, that is the combination of the cell. Let us move into the second part, that is combination of the cell. Let us discuss about how the cells can be connected, in an electrical circuit. Let us discuss. Okay, so first of all, first type of combination we are discussing about is series combination. Series combination of cells. Let us discuss about the series combination of the cell. Okay, so look at this very carefully. Now in this figure we are verifying that this all the cells, because look at here, the positive terminal, this is negative terminal, so negative terminal connected to positive terminal of another cell. Again there is negative terminal connected to positive terminal of another cell. This again positive is connected to negative and negative connected to positive. So that means this type of connection where it will happen, then this type of connection is called here a series connection of the cell. Remember, this type of connection is called series connection of the cell, and each cell is having an EMF E and internal resistance R. Clear, all of you? Again I will repeat, each cell is having an EMF E and internal resistance R. They are connected in series. All of you understood how it will connect in series? Look at it. This is positive, this is negative. So this negative is connected to positive. Now this is negative, this negative connected to positive. So that's why it is called series combination. So in this series combination, important point is that what one of the 1, 2, 3, 4 I have mentioned here. The first point, remember the first point, all if I find out the net EMF or total EMF of the cell, then each individual EMF of the cell becomes added up. They will added up. That's why each cell is having an EMF E. So there are how many number of cells? Now n number of cells. Let us take there are how many number of cells? Now n number of cells. Clear? Okay. So n number of cells. N number of cells. So what is the total EMF? The total EMF is equal to, so one cell is having a EMF E. So n number of cells means the total EMF become n. Very simple. Okay. Remember, and so also the resistance, the internal resistance, very importantly, because this is one cell. Remember, I'll make a dotted one. These are the cells. Okay, one cell consists of this cell and so also the internal resistance. So if now the total your EMF of this circuit becomes NE. Similarly, the net internal resistance, the net internal resistance become how much? The net is similarly there. The internal resistance also are in series. So this is NR. Very simple. Okay, and the whole circuit is connected to a external resistance R. Okay, so R is nothing but the external resistance. Clear? Next, whatever I aim to find out, now I aim to find out the current, because this positive means this is my current loop. Very simple. Okay, so I have to find out the current, maximum current. Remember what I have to find out the maximum current in this connection. Okay, so current is equal to I is equal to total EMF, how much? NE divided by what is the total resistance? Now NR plus external resistance R. So this is the expression. Remember, in case of, again I will repeat, in case of series combination, this is the expression of current. Okay, this is the expression of current in the circuit, electrical circuit, when they are connected in series. So here there are two cases may be arised. Case number 1, remember case number 1, if NR is much greater than R. Remember, if NR much greater than R, then what NR means? The net internal resistance becomes greater than the external resistance. Then what happens? This R can be neglected. Remember? So in this case, what is the current flow? Now I is equal to NE divided by NR. So that will be E by R. Understood? Now case number 2. Case 2. If external resistance becomes much greater than the internal resistance, then which can be neglected? The net internal resistance. So in this case, what is current? The NE divided by R. Okay, so that implies N whole into E divided by R. Okay, so now look at these two expressions very carefully. So in these two cases, in which case we will get maximum current? In the case number 2. In the case number 2, we will get the maximum current flow. So that's why I can conclude one thing here, very important conclusion, that when the resistance of a circuit is greater than the net internal resistance of the cell, or in other words we can say that if net internal resistance of the cell is neglected as compared to the external resistance, then the cells can be connected in series to get the maximum current in an electrical circuit. Okay, clear? So this is about, in this way we are discussing about the series combination of the cells. Each part is very important from the problem point of view and also from the derivation point of view. That is, what is EMF, what is internal resistance, what is current, and what are the factors. From these two factors, in which factor we will get the maximum current. Each part listen very carefully. Okay, so this is about the series combination of the cell. Next we will move into the parallel combination of the cell. Look at very carefully how the cells can be connected parallelly. Okay, so look at this very carefully. So this is one cell having EMF, interresistance R. This is one cell having EMF, interresistance R. This is, and in this way, dot 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 means this is continuing. Okay, so in this way, how many this type of cells, n number of cells are connected in parallel. Okay, so now this is also interresistance R. Clear? So now look at here. All the positive, these are the positive terminals. These are the positive terminals. So all the positive terminals connected to one node. All the negative terminals connected to another node. That's why this type of connection is called your parallel connection. Okay. Suppose this is your node A. This is your node B, and this whole connection is connected to again external resistance. Okay, R capital R, very simple. Clear? So what happens actually in this type of connection? Again the same point. Number one, look at very carefully. Number one, what is the net EMF or total EMF? Very simple. What is the total EMF? Let us find out. So total EMF or net EMF in parallel combination. That means remember in the parallel combination in which the cells are having same EMF. Clear? Then the net EMF is same as EMF of one cell. Again I will repeat, if all the cells having EMF E connected in parallel combination, then the total or net combination of the EMF become the EMF of a single cell. So what is the EMF of a single cell? E. So that's why EMF of total circuit becomes E. But remember, the EMF of total circuit become E. Very simple. Clear? Okay. So now, number two. Then what is what is the? Let us find out what is my internal or net internal resistance. Net internal resistance. Clear? So net internal resistance or total internal resistance, look at here. So all the resistance are connected parallel. That means they were nothing but the reciprocal. That means we have to find out the net internal resistance. So 1 by Rp. They are parallel. So 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by R plus in this way it is. Very simple. So what is that value? Now that value is nothing but your N divided by R. So simple, that is equal to the net R is equal to R divided by N. Clear? Okay. So total EMF is the EMF of individual cell. Interresistance become this. The next, what is the maximum or the expression of current? So let us come to here. So now number 3, let us find out the current. So current I is equal to the EMF becomes E. Total EMF, the resistance sum of or the total interresistance plus the external resistance. So this is my expression of current. Very simple. Okay. So now I is equal to E divided by R by M plus R. Clear? So that implies, if I will just simply solve it, so this is E N divided by R plus N. Clear? Okay. So now here also two cases may be arise. Case number 1, case number 2. Look at these two cases very carefully. Case number 1. Similarly, the case number 1 when R by N is much greater than R. First case, when R by N is much greater than R, then which is neglected? It is very small, so we can neglect R. So let us neglect R. If you neglect R, then what you will get? Now current I is equal to E divided by R by N. So that's why N E divided by R. Clear? First case. Come to the case number 2. When R is much greater than R by N. So in this case, which can be neglected? R by N can be neglected. So that's why what is the value of current? Now current is equal to I. Now E divided by R. Clear love you? Okay. Okay. So look at very carefully. So what we will get here? What we will get here? Now if look at very carefully. If the net internal resistance become greater than the external resistance, then all the cells are connected in what? Parallel to get the maximum current. In which combination? The parallel combination. Okay, so now this is all about the parallel combination of the cells. So this is the your circuit, EMF. Okay, then this is internal resistance, then current value, then these are the two cases. Remember these two cases. Okay, again it is very important from the derivation point of view and also from the problem point of view. Okay, I think all of you clear. What are the aims? First of all, we have to know what are the aims in these combinations, in the series combinations and in the parallel combination. In both the cases, three things we are calculating very importantly. What are the three things? Let us discuss one more thing. The first thing, what is the EMF? Second thing, what is the internal resistance? Third thing, what is the current? And in which case the current will be maximum in this circuit in case of series combination and in case of parallel combination.